Do you sometimes feel that you're constantly being run by this voice in the head, the endless mind chatter, the inner critic? We are an intelligent species with powerful minds. These minds help us to navigate day to day life in a smooth and efficient manner. Mind is a great tool. It helps with learning skills, understanding thought and behavior patterns, problem solving, decision making, looking at different options available, and coming up with the one that serves us best so that we can function and thrive as an organism. But while mind is a great servant, it's a really bad, awful master. And in today's day and age, most of the minds have taken over the entire individual and have become the masters. But they operate from the same thought model of scarcity and control and looking at the external reality, treating it as a battlefield, and constantly judging, passing this feedback back to the individual and see how things can change so that this individual can survive and thrive. So while the intention is good, but the problem is it's coming from a sense of scarcity and survival and control, but with this constant judgment and beating down, it it completely misses the point because instead of growing, that negative criticism the entire time ends up bringing us down. Let's take a few examples. Maybe think about a time where you had a discussion with someone, maybe a coworker or a relative, and it kind of got a little bit heated where you both had different opinions and you just went at it. And maybe at some point you stopped yourself because you didn't want to come across as aggressive. So you just dialed it down, and maybe later you were reviewing that situation in your head, and the mind went like, why did you hold back? You should have given them a piece of your mind. Um, do they think only their opinion matters? Or you should have told them you were in the right. And let's change the situation. Maybe in another scenario, you actually said what was on your mind, you didn't hold back, and you were again reviewing that situation, and maybe the mind chatter went something like this: oh, did you see their face? They felt so dejected, they felt so dumb. Why did you go all in? Maybe you should have held back a little bit. You were kind of ruthless and very outspoken. So you see how the mind takes both sides of the narratives and constantly judges you. How about relationships? Sometimes you put the needs of other people in front of you, and the mind maybe comes back at you saying, see, others don't appreciate you. Why don't you put yourself first? And someday, when you try to take time for yourself and do something, maybe the mind comes back and starts guilt tripping you. Oh, why are you so selfish? Don't you know that their needs matter more, especially at this point because someone is going through something or the other? So it takes both sides of the situation. You cannot win with the mind. How about social or work scenarios where maybe you were at an event and you were just in a corner minding your own thing, and maybe the mind was later talking to you like this: oh, why were you hiding in a corner? You should have been more outspoken. You should have taken the spotlight a bit. You are always hiding yourself away. Look at others, how they talk about their achievements. You should also put yourself out there. And maybe once you did, and the feedback maybe was, why were you so outspoken? Everyone was looking at you, and maybe some people even were mocking you. You shouldn't have spoken so much about yourself. You should have shared the spotlight or something like that. So the idea is the mind, you can never win with the mind. It will always be judging you. So you're damned if you do what the mind says, and you're Damned if you don't do what the mind says. You cannot win with it. But even when we meet our targets, achieve our goals, the mind or the inner chatter may quiet down for a little bit, and we might be happy and fulfilled and ecstatic with our achievements. But wait for a while. After some time, that voice will still again pop up and again start judging you for something else. And while all of us should have targets and goals and want to achieve more in life, see where that is coming from. Is that coming from a place of lack where no matter what you do, you're not good enough? Or is it coming from a place of growth where you are good where you are, but you can still grow more and be more and add value to yourself as well as others? So it's all about where that thought is rooted, whether it's coming from a space of lack or whether it's coming from a space of growth. So, if you feel that you are also being driven by this inner mind chatter, where no matter what you do is not good enough, and there's this constant barrage of judgment being thrown at you by your mind, then take a step back. And instead of being driven by the mind, try to operate from mindfulness. So, what does that mean? That means that instead of believing every thought that the mind throws at us, let's take a step back, let's pause, and let's see where that thought is coming from. We don't have to believe everything that pops up in our head. We can have that discernment of looking at what is there and is it coming from? Is it coming from a sense of scarcity? Is it coming from a sense of fear that, oh, everyone is achieving so much and I'm sitting here doing nothing? So then it's coming from the mind, which is fear mongering in its essence. But if the thought is coming from a place of where you are happy and you own your power and you still want to expand and share with the world, then that's a different thing. So evaluate for yourself whether you are being run by your mind or you have control over your mind, where you can look at what is being thrown at you from your mind and look at it objectively, evaluate, and operate from there. And it's not in a me versus the world environment. Make sure that we are operating from this sense of mindfulness more than being driven by our minds and behaving like puppets whose strings are being pulled by this merciless master, which keeps issuing commands and nothing is ever uh, good enough for it. So, evaluate for yourself. And I would like to share a few lines that I wrote on this topic about mind and mindfulness. How many mental wars have you fought? Isn't it time to give up? You think the mind is your friend. It keeps you safe and wishes you well. It only wants what's good for you and is your ally. It berates you so that you give your best. It makes you fearful of others so that you don't get hurt like in the past. It meticulously plans so that your future is bright. This unstoppable feedback is to give you a good life. But wait until you get what you desire. The good mind comes back with heaps of guilt to make you realize you are bad for being selfish. There is no winning with this well wisher. It either makes you a saint or a sinner and pits you against the world. Nothing you can ever do is good enough. It's too little or too much. The trick is not to bow to the whims of the mind, but to become aware of its restlessness. Stillness cannot be achieved by engaging in mental dialogue, but by going beyond the chatter. Life is not a problem to be solved, but an experience to be had. Give up the struggle. Let go of the battlefield in your head. You are the only one on both ends. It's a war within yourself. Peace can be brought about only by your surrender. Use the mind, but don't become its slave. Don't engage with every thought. Not all barking dogs need to be fed. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.